That's not all it is right there. There's plenty more on Hard Knocks training camp with the Oakland Raiders tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern and on HBO. So he's saying more work, less noise, and that's what he's been looking for. But Mayock had to set that ultimatum, that all in or all out, seemingly sort of line in the sand situation that we heard from over the weekend. So according to our NFL Network insider, Ian Rappaport, here's what the latest is. Antonio Brown's filed another grievance. He doubled back. So he's basically saying that he wants a grace period. Can you explain this a little bit better, Shregs?
Yeah, so every player last year had a grace period to where they could try out other helmets or they could wear their old helmet. Antonio Brown used his old helmet. He was then told that his old helmet can't be used this year. He's against it, and they said, well, because it's 10 years old, we can't use it. So he found one that's less than 10 years old. I don't know if it was on the internet or someone found him one. He put it on, and he said, okay, how about this one? They said, no, that you can't use that one either. That one doesn't work. And he says, okay, well, since this one's less than 10 years old, and you're telling me that now, I should get a one-year grace period with this less than 10 years old one, which is kind of the semantics. I have a very hard time thinking that this is going to pass by the league and suddenly he's going to have that grace period. But Kay, it's just another saga with him. And as much as he says that he's being viewed as the enemy of the state, eventually the walls start closing in and they start turning on you. And Mayock's comment Sunday night was the first time we've seen any statement from any Raiders brass player, coach that was against Antonio Brown. And that was, hey, us versus you. The whole time from there, it was us versus the league and we've got Antonio's back. I start to wonder if the veteran players in that locker room, and there are several, the Richie Incognitos, the Vontaze Burficts, the Derek Carrs, who's the quarterback of the Raiders and is not being discussed at all this preseason.
Fair.
I wonder if they start looking at each other and saying, okay, there's 90 guys in this room. He's a really good player, but at what point are we done worrying about whether he's with us or not, and we start moving on, and they start looking at each other and saying we should be talking to him. I wonder if inside that Raiders building, it's now we, not me. When does that start playing into Antonio Brown's whole offseason?
Starts and ends with Carr for me. I want to hear from Derek Carr. I mean, this is a huge season for him. And, you know, we see him on Hard Knocks, and he's got adorable kids and a nice family, and that's great and everything. But, like, at what point does he become the MFIC, the Mr. in charge? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the franchise quarterback. Get in here. Like, Derek Carr is well within his rights to sound off, and maybe they're waiting. We heard from the GM. Everything's Pollyanna with the head coach, which I respect. I think it's a strategy. I want to hear from the franchise quarterback. He needs to practice with this guy, and we haven't heard squat. So Derek Carr, speak up.
What do you want him to say that's going to make it better? Like, what could Derek Carr possibly say?
I mean, I'm not going to write a script for him, but I'd like to hear something from him.
Yeah.
I mean, some sort of leadership. To Peter's point, Rich Incognito just got there. He's a veteran and everything, but, like, Derek Carr's faced the franchise, and the receiver's not there. I'd like to hear something.
Yeah, Antonio Brown mentioned, I feel like Enemy of the State, which is one of my favorite movies. Will Smith was phenomenal in that, right? But here's the thing about that movie is Will Smith was trying to figure it out the entire movie until he found somebody he can lean on, which was Gene Hackman in that movie. And I feel like Antonio Brown needs to find his Gene Hackman. He needs to find somebody that he can form an alliance with. Because right now, him trying to figure it out, and just like Enemy of the State, there's cameras everywhere, there's mics everywhere, and they're picking up everything you're doing, and you're running away from the situation instead of running towards it. Who is that person within the organization? I feel like we're all saying the same thing. Is it Mike Mayock? Is it Gruden? Is it Derek Carr? Who is there voicing your support? Because right now it seems like you're the only one talking. Everybody else is starting to distance themselves just a little bit, and that's not what you want right before the season.
Yeah.
You want people walking towards you and embracing Antonio Brown, saying he's here and we got his back, instead of either you're all in or you're all out.
I think people are waiting to see now, is the grievance going to be accepted? Are they going to say, no, thank you, like it's not going to happen again? I don't even care about that. I really don't. Safety first. All of us can agree on that. Everybody on all sides can. To me, it's not about that. Some of the best advice I've ever been given was what you will allow will continue. So when does this end? Let's say he gets to wear the helmet that was made in the last decade, and then is he happy the entire season? Have we actually solved what the issue is? Him being there, him putting the team first, him using actions instead of words? Like, I don't think so, and I don't see this ending. So as far as like where they go from here, what the future is, that's why I was asking you what you want Derek Carr to say, because something has to happen, even if it goes in his favor, to make sure this doesn't keep happening every week.
Yeah. And I think the message is very simple to Carr. We need him here. Are you in or are you out? Just echo what Mayock said, because it's perfect, and we still don't know.
Yeah. You got highlights from the Niners game last night. Jimmy Garoppolo, woof! We'll get into that, but Will Selva's out.